my life.
Welcome to Durbania. I'm Rapthorn.
I'm Durbin.
And today we're doing our spoiler talk on Keanu.
If y'all saw my spoiler free, 1 star. And I already got a thumbs down on it. That's cool. I don't mind. I mean, it's a movie. We all have our own opinions on movies. Yeah. But I was bored out of my mind, and I did not like this movie even a little.
I'm going to disagree. If you've watched Key and Peele and you've watched their comedy, this is a kickoff from their comedy. So, like, the skits that they put together, everything, it's a kickoff from that. It's right on line. It's like a longer version of one of their smaller skits. Really.
So really, I probably would have had a deeper appreciation if I watched Key and Peele. Key, I saw him, he was on Parks and Rec. Like, he came in the last 2 seasons of Parks and Rec. I loved his character. Yeah. He was great for Donna. If you watch Parks and Rec, you know who Donna is, and he married her. Sorry, spoiler alert. Oh, I blew it for him. That's what I did. Key did a great job on that show. Like, I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed his acting. Like, he was great. And so I want to rewind my spoiler-free just a little bit. And I'll say my real problem with the movie was not Key and Peele. I thought they did a great job. I loved it when they were arguing about, you can't talk like this when they're in the bar. And they're like, you can't talk like that. You got to be tougher. And then all of a sudden that, High C, the girl, shows up and he's like, yeah, my name is Shark Tank. I mean, He just immediately, things like that were hilarious. So Key and Peele, I thought, were great. It was just, the movie itself did not get my attention. There were a few moments that I laughed hysterically. Like, okay, so the beginning had those weird ghost guys, right? Those killers that were just crazy. And
the Allentown brothers.
Yes, the Allentown brothers. And so now Key and Peele are pretending to be the Allentown brothers because they don't know who or what the real...
Is it Allentown brothers or Allentown boys?
It was the Allentown something. But, they were talking about that church massacre and how, like, oh, we heard the guy did a flip. And they're like, show us the flip. And so what does Key do? Like, Peele is trying to talk them out of it, and Key just flips off the wall and lands, and his face where he's like, ah! Where he was just as surprised that he did it as everybody else that saw it.
I love how he walks by Peele and he's like...
Yeah. So it
was awesome.
There were moments like that I thought was amazing. But here's, to me, where the majority of the movie was. So that scene where Key is in the van and Peele goes into Anna Faris's house.
Sure.
And that drug deal's going down. So it started off funny that they were listening to George Michael. It started off funny that, he was kind of helping them get in tune with themselves. It started off funny. Mm-hmm. But it kept going back and forth between what was going on in the house and the van for so long that it just kind of lost it. And to me, that's kind of where this movie was. I felt like, I know the movie wasn't long, but it felt long to me. Yeah. And it just felt like, instead of so much comedy and they're in these weird situations trying to play these gangster characters, some of it just dragged on so much that I kept losing interest.
So basically the whole plot behind this movie is the Allentown boys, brothers, whatever you want to call them, goes and they shoot up this meth house, crack house,
It was an intense scene, though.
It was in a church, and
it was an intense scene.
The main guy had this cat, and they called him Iglesias. So after that whole thing goes down, like the cat and the Allentown guys have kind of a moment together. And then they drop the cat, and the cat runs away. Cat shows up at Peele's house. Peele takes him in.
And Peele's a mess.
Yeah, he's a mess. His girlfriend just broke up with him. The cat gets kidnapped. Catnapped, really? Gets catnapped. So they go to try and find the cat. They find the cat. And, like, this whole thing ensues with them trying to get the cat back. And
yeah, they have to pretend to be these Allentown gangsters because they have to do this drug deal for this guy to impress him so that, as a price, he'll give them back the cat. And
it's crazy because it's like everybody's putting their lives on the line and, like...
for this cat.
Turning down money and, like, all this stuff for a cat.
But in the cat's defense, it
was a cute cat.
Look at it. Come on.
I just want to pet him.
Anyway, I don't even know what more I can say about it because, I mean, if you watch my spoiler free, I got a little ranty. 1 star. I've had time to calm down. I was just so angry that I spent money on it and sat through that whole thing. Like, for me, if I was ever to see it, that would be more of a rental than go see that on the big screen. I felt like their gags dragged on too long and things went a little too long. And then they got a little too serious in some parts rather than, oh, look, these funny guys in these serious situations and watching comedy ensue. So I just got so bored.
Yeah, now one thing that happened, like, when the movie started, the whole theater, well, mainly all the girls in the theater, as soon as they showed Keanu, all the girls went, "Oh, oh."
My theater was dead silent, so I guess that was a huge part of this.
No, it definitely wasn't silent for me. So I'm going to say that a lot of the college-age students, they're right there with the Key and Peele, like, comedy and everything. So they really stand behind this movie. So if you're of college age and you've watched Key and Peele before, sure, go see the movie. You know, you will enjoy it for what it is, because it is a Key and Peele comedy skit, just in movie form.
There were 1 or 2 moments that did have me laughing, but I guess what I don't have is I've never seen the Key and Peele sketches, so I didn't really have that base. I've seen Key and Parks and Rec and a few other things to know that I like that guy as an actor. He was funny. I enjoy him when I see him on screen. But this movie itself, to me, I didn't laugh, except for just 1 or 2 scenes. Otherwise, I felt like everything drug out too long. I was really bored, and I'm still kind of sad that I spent the money on this movie.
All right. So I'm going to give this movie 3 stars.
All right.
I thought it was a 3-star movie. It definitely wasn't anything of the caliber of a 3.5 to 4-star movie, but I thought it was funny enough and it kept my attention enough that 3 stars is a pretty good point. You know, it's a little over halfway. Like I said, I didn't hate it. So yeah, 3 stars for me.
I'm sticking with my 1 star. I will say that I would like to see Key and Peele in something else. Like, I did not really like this movie, but I would like to see Key and Peele do another movie.
You can see them on YouTube.
I will check them out on YouTube, and hopefully, even though I gave them 1 star for their first feature-length film, they'll check us out and yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
I gave you 3 stars.
Well, there you go. Well, what did you think of this movie? If you ignored my advice on my spoiler-free and you saw this movie, let us know how many stars you'd give it in the comments below. Also, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.
I'm Rapthorn.
And I'm Durbin.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.